Okay, so Squindo. Um, is it okay to call you Squindo? Is that how
Yep.
you prefer to be addressed? Hey,
Yep.
Squindo, do you mind?
No, my first name's Tony, but I never really liked it.
Yeah.
It was kind of a weird name. It didn't really fit me. I have a
Well,
whole
you're
backstory.
a poster too, right? So everybody's Tony. Hey,
Yeah.
Tony, Anthony,
Yeah.
right?
If you're from Jersey, New York, it's too
I
much.
got it.
I have a whole backstory to my real name that is a whole mess, but it's my real first name is Antone because my dad met a guy in a bar named that.
And he was
That's the
like, "That's cool."
he's like he didn't want my name to be Anthony, and he's like, this is cool. So my whole theory is that I went back in time and I met him in a bar because I asked him how the guy was. He's like, I don't know, he was a little older than me. He was kind of cool. I'm like, that this is what I'm named after. Thanks, Pop. Yeah,
I'm sure there's worse, but
yeah, probably.
no grandfather, no uncle, no like
No, nobody.
the bar thought he was cool.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
about
it worked, right?
yeah. I'm alright with it, I guess. But Squindo is just easier. It's like a goofy, weird name. People ask me where it's from, and I'm like, it's my name. Like, how'd you come up with it? I'm like, I didn't come up with it. Somebody way back probably was like, that sounds cool. Let's smash some stupid letters together, and there you go. But
You
yeah,
can't nickname yourself. Nicknames come from other people and then they just stick,
right,
right?
right. I'm holding. I've already told my family that I've trademarked the name Squindo, so I'm going to charge all of them if they use my name. If they use the name, I have to send them to a lawyer to them or something and have them pay for it.
I don't think it's your fault if you don't remember the first friend that like called you that and then it stuck. Like
Uh, it was probably high school, just
I
Squindo.
was saying, it was probably how
Yeah,
long ago?
yeah, yeah.
Well, before I forget, the event is called 104 Seasons of Metallica, and it's at Manny's at 16th and Valencia in San Francisco. And it's the day in between the two Metallica shows. So June 21st, 2:30 to 4 p.m. You and I are going to sit down and we are going to go through your art in slideshow and discuss it in
Cool.
detail.
Detail.
Yeah. And it's before the Damage Inc. show at Bimbo's, which doesn't start till 7, and it's in North Beach. So we can easily do both events.
Cool. Cool.
I saw a little bit of the one you did in Seattle. Are you and I going to kind of imitate that where it's a full slideshow, but also full conversation, you and
Yeah,
I?
yeah. It'll probably be mixed up a bit, but I tried to do different slides for different cities, but I get mixed up very easily. So I try to do like I'll do a couple extra slides that are San Francisco based. You know, a couple of things that are
It's
more.
Metallica. That's kind of hard to
Well, yeah,
differentiate.
yeah. I did a poster for the symphony show there at the Chase. So it was kind of like a drawing of the building and then all fans out front of it. So I'll kind of mix that into and talk about the weird stuff that's going on in there. But a couple other things like that, like San Francisco ish.
Squindo,
But
are you hiding Easter eggs in your Metallica
oh, I
artwork?
do. If it's a group of people, I'm always hidden in there, or a monkey or something was hidden in somewhere.
Why a
Yeah,
monkey?
I like monkeys. I don't know. I grew up in the '80s, and every TV show had a monkey in it, and it was hammered into my head that I needed to have a monkey. Or the wife's not very keen on me having a monkey, but
Yeah,
someday,
beware becoming a collector of anything. People will just send you stuff.
uh, yeah, I'm aware. I have some strange things people send me now.
What's the
Yeah.
weirdest?
Um, there's one fan that is trying to. He keeps saying he's trying to get me a chainsaw blade. I had an accident a few years ago where I tore my arm apart with a grinder chainsaw,
Like
and
Evil Dead level?
pretty much, yeah. It's a 4-inch grinder with a chainsaw blade on it. I was using to carve,
Oh my
and it
God.
was
Okay.
yeah. It's a death tool. It's evil, but ever since then, this guy is constantly he sends me like videos of people using stupid tools, and he's like, I need to get one of these tools and have you sign it for me. I'm like, ugh, you don't have to keep reminding me of my stupidity, but he does.
But you're okay now, right? You
I'm
still
okay.
all the
Fingers
digits?
they're all there. One of them doesn't work so good, but I'll explain all that. That's part of my little presentation too. I go,
Presentation.
yeah, I go into detail on that. It's not really Metallica based, but it was in between two different jobs, so I threw it in there, and it's got a little blood and gore. So
What were you working on when it happened?
a tiki. We moved to Florida, so I'm like, I'll be a tiki carver. Bad idea. Yeah.
You're Florida man now.
Yeah. I learned my lesson.
Like
I have
all the way, Florida man.
yeah. It's I there's a photo that is in the slideshow that kind of embraces my whole my transformation from New Jersey, Pennsylvania into a perfect Florida man, covered in blood, redneck looking mess with bandages and
What did you do with the tiki? Did you turn it into a necklace that you gave to Greg Brady?
Yeah. He took it, and my brother told me I should carve little pieces off and sell them as like the cursed tiki, but I'm like, I don't even want to touch it. I kicked it over and woodpeckers ate it. So
yeah, I was gonna say you should have someone else cut it up and make it into tikis.
Yeah, I'm done touching that. I have friends who do like amazing tiki carvings, and I should have just had them do it. I got too creative during COVID, so I figured I could do something, but stick with paper, pencils, and paint.
We all got a little weird in COVID, dude. I was making Bader Ginsburg waffles. True story. Someone sent me an RBG waffle iron.
Our conversation, our conversation when I come out there will probably not even be about Metallica at all. It's just going to be about your waffles and my tikis, and yeah.
I mean, the Bay Area is a little over Metallica by now, right?
Yeah. Everybody knows about them. We'll talk about our adventures instead.
So how many of these events have you done? Has it been the whole 72 seasons tour you've been popping out?
No, just the double dates where they need something for the middle for the between the two. This is our, not counting the Seattle one. That was the very first one, but I did 3 so far. So Tampa's the 4th. I'll do Tampa next weekend, and then you guys, and then Denver, finish it off. So yeah, I said before, I've never done this before. I did one little interview for the Orion Festival. It was like maybe 10 people, and I got dragged out. It was in 2013, and it was just like I was sweating to do that, and I was hopped up on a ton of Red Bull, and I just walked out there, and they asked a few questions, and it wasn't that bad. I almost had a heart attack just because all the Red Bulls. But
I was gonna say Squindo Red Bull is bad for you.
Oh, I was very addicted to all of those for a while, but I'm off now. But I find other energy. But they called me to do the Seattle one, and of course they asked me to do something, and whatever they ask, I say yes. And I said yes, and I hung up the phone. I'm like, what did I just agree to? Like, I have to talk in front of people. Like, how many people? How long? And then I knew that if I said no, I'd regret it. I just got to suck it up and relax and try to do this. And the first one was a little rough. They're all a little rough the first couple minutes. And then I relax a little bit.
It's just nerves. Once you start talking, forget about it being a thing, and it's not a thing.
It flies by. It's like an hour or 90 minutes, and it's just like it's done. Like,
I think we just got the news today that we're going 90 minutes.
Yep.
I think we'll be fine.
So I'll throw an extra slide about gore and blood just to keep people entertained.
How did you start doing art? I mean, did you come out of the womb just drawing on stuff?
Pretty much. Yeah. I didn't even talk about this in the presentation, but there was, I have my one logo has a skull with the pencil like going through the skull. Mm-hmm. When I was, I think 5 years old, I always had a pencil in my hand, and I still have a weird scar up in here because I was running with pencil point up, and I shoved the pencil into the eye there. I got 2 stitches, and then like months later, I'm running around the house again, same thing, and it went in the roof of my mouth. So I was injecting art into my skull when I was 5.
Performance art at its finest.
Yeah. I mean, my mom must have just been like, "Here's a pencil, you go run."
Well, I mean, you're kind of close to my age, right? When were you born?
69.
Yeah. So our parents were like, whatever, kid.
Yeah. Here, you get a chainsaw or a pencil. Which one you want to run around with?
Yeah. Does it need stitches? All right, throw some ice on it. You're fine.
Yeah, Band-Aid, you're fine.
Vaccine.
What was the iodine?
Oh, you were an iodine baby. We were back teen kids. We just got yeah. But that iodine was awful. It was all covered and gross. Like it was like they were marking you. Shame.
Yeah, that's about it.
The 70s kid mark of shame is the iodine.
Yeah. Red, orange mess on you. Yeah.
What was the first thing you liked drawing?
I drew a lot of Snoopies, a lot of like my dogs or Snoopy, or I have one drawing I did of my stuffed bunny rabbit. It was a little blue bunny rabbit. And then my dad he was a teacher and he ran a ski club out of his school, like 7th and 8th grade kids. So we were always on the bus with 50 kids. And I was like super quiet little kid. So I would just draw pictures to like impress the girls that were on the bus. I was like maybe 9 years old and there's like 8th grade girls. So I'm like drawing them pictures of Snoopy. And that was my my only way to like go out and talk to anybody, was just drawing silly.
Have you been to the Charles Schulz Museum when you were here?
No. I wrote him a letter when I was little asking for his autograph, and I got drawings, not drawings, I had like photocopies of Snoopy with a stamp that said Snoopy, like Snoopy had signed it. I'm like, this isn't what I wanted. But I still have him.
I know he's not real, sir.
Yeah, this is a stamp. Snoopy did not sign it. But I still have those, and since then I have another cousin of mine came across an autographed Snoopy drawing from Charles Schulz, and he sent that to me. So I have that. You also have, I think it's in San Francisco. Where's the Dr. Seuss gallery? Isn't there one out there somewhere? That might be Southern California.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I was just thinking there used to be a Charles Schulz gallery in San Diego that I've been to, but I don't know if there's a Dr. Seuss it's definitely not in the Bay, or if it is, I haven't heard of it.
Right.
I've been here since I was born, but that does not always mean I know everything. For example, this will be my first time at Manny's at 16th and Valencia for the event.
Nice drop in there.
Yeah, like a professional sometimes. But it's going to be fun because we're going to go through your slides. You're going to choose them specifically. So basically I can put in some requests.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
When did you start working with Metallica? What was the first kind of catalyst that brought that in? Were you like a working artist at the time and somebody just put your name in a hat, or how?
I had just moved back. There's like another messed up story. I was living in Pennsylvania from New Jersey. I moved to Pennsylvania for a little bit, living in like a trailer, making no money. And me and my wife moved back to New Jersey to try to like make some money. So I was working, I was restocking magazines in stores, working at a t-shirt shop printing while she was going to school. And then like, it was just trying to do some freelance in the middle of it. So I'm like, every weekend I'm at shows, like banging on bus doors, trying to work for somebody. I knew like I liked metal and I thought my skull art and that kind of stuff would work with them. So it was like any band I liked, we'd be banging on the bus doors, and sometimes they were cool, sometimes they weren't. Like the first couple bands was like COC. I met them and they were super cool. Pepper was like totally cool with us. We were hanging on his bus. They never used anything, never bought anything, but we're still like, I still communicate.
Southern hospitality is real.
Yeah. And then was another New York hardcore band that I started doing some stuff for, Propane. And they never bought anything either, but because I was working at a t-shirt shop, I just keep printing shirts and I'd be like, how about this one? How about this one? And
also, hardcore bands don't have a lot of money to spend.
No. And they didn't. So, but we got in the shows for free. And my wife was taking photos of them all. So it was like, we'd go in, take the photos, and then at least we'd go to a show for free. So from there, it was the one night Kid Rock was on the local metal station doing an interview. And I'm like, he sounds all right. We'll just hit that up too. I didn't know who he was or anything. and it was right when The Devil Without a Cause came out. So we go to the show, and there's like, we got there early. There's nobody there. He's sitting up at the bar, and again, my wife was taking photos, so we were trying to get her photography out. So we go up and we're talking with him, and he was totally cool with us. He's like, you take photos, whatever. And as we're talking, I'm like, this dude looks like a cartoon character. I could draw him. So the next show we did, it was him, Monster Magnet, and Head PE. So I'm banging on the bus door again, and his tour manager lets me on, and I'm showing them all the art, and they liked it. It was goofy cartoon art, but they liked it. So I started working with them, and then through him, we met Lars. He was like, they became friends somehow. I don't know. And there's a whole story like how I that came out. But I met Lars the one night, and I was showing Kid Rock art, and he's like, here's management's phone number, give him a call. And then that was in 99. So that year I had 3 of the top 4 best-selling shirts on their tour. So yeah, it was a goofy little, again, cartoony style. It was always my thing was the cartoon style art.
You started with Snoopy.
Yeah, really. It was Bugs Bunny was my Warner Brother cartoons were my thing. So it was a lot of violence in cartoon.
Yeah.
So yeah. But they bought those, and then from there it was just nonstop since 99. Just keep them happy.
So it started from 3 t-shirt designs that went on tour, and now it's just a constant influx, or are you like on the payroll, like they just send you work when they need you, or is it like just a freelance style? They're just like, hey, we got this coming up, do this.
Yep, that's it. Freelance stuff, and it's just if I know there's a tour coming up, I'll bust my ass and try to draw a bunch of stuff to give them more to look through. But it's usually like tours coming up, do some stuff. So I don't
know if I'm talking out of turn here, but you're pretty much the guy now, right? Like when Metallica needs an artwork for something, it's like
there's a few of us. There's probably 3 that do a lot of it. So I mean, there's a whole lot. Like Pusshead is still the guy. I mean, Pusshead still his stuff. He doesn't do as much, but when he does, that's the art. Everybody loves it. He's who I learned how to draw skulls. Him and Eddie were the 2. My
ask, like, have you met Pusshead? How is that? I mean, because we all grew up with him as the Metallica guy, because I think he was the only one they had or knew.
Yeah.
And then as they expanded the art, it seemed like you came in pretty quickly as he was phasing out. And I think he's just like moved on to other things. He's just not doing Metallica at the frequency they need somebody to be able to produce art.
Right. I know he's again, the fans are still number 1. He's still amazing. And I met him once at the 30th anniversary. I was hanging out with the HQ guys, and they're like, who would you want to meet? Because there's a whole lot of people here. I'm like, I just want to meet Pusshead. And they're like, he's standing right behind you. And I turn around, I'm like, oh my God. And I shook his hand, introduced myself, and he's just like, yeah, whatever. All right. It was nice, but it was like, there's no chit chat. He's apparently he's not very talkative either. So it was just, hey, what's up? And I'm like sweating. I'm like, oh my God. But
they did the same thing to me, but they wouldn't tell me which one he was. I was like, I want to meet Pusshead. Pusshead's here. Are you serious? Where is he? And they're like, he's right behind you. And I turn around and there's the whole room. And I'm like, which one is he? And they're like,
you find out.
You figure it out. And I never did. And I was like,
no, I had no idea.
I'm like, does anybody know which one he is? Like, I'm trying to eliminate the people I do know. Like, just like, oh, yeah.
Just walk up to everyone and like, hey, Pusshead. Hey, Pusshead.
They'd have been like, who is this crazy girl and why is she still here?
Yeah.
The 30th anniversary shows are still best week ever for me. It was so unbelievable. I love talking to somebody else who was there. What was like, aside from meeting Pusshead, what was your moment?
Non-music moment, but me and my wife were sitting. We went up in we were on the upper balcony, and we're hanging out on the left side, and we're just looking down at the crowd. And I'd only been working with him. What was it? What year was that?
2011.
All right, so I'd been with him for a little while, but the crowd people look up and they're all cheering, and I'm like, nobody knows who I am. Why are they cheering for me? And as I'm thinking this, I turn and Hetfield's like leaning over my shoulder, looking out at the crowd. And I'm like, all right, so they're cheering for one of us. Maybe it's me, maybe. But yeah, it was just very awkward, and he laughs it all off and pats me on the head, like, all right, you keep thinking what you want to think. It's all right.
He's a prankster. I think he's like a giant kid at heart. If he sees an opportunity to get a laugh,
yeah,
he's right.
He got
in
me
there.
one. We were at the movie premiere for Some Kind of Monster.
Oh, mm-hmm.
And me and my wife were sitting on the one side of the one row, and again, we're like freaked out and excited to be there. And again, somebody from behind comes up and hits me on the shoulder, like out of the seat, and I turn around. It's just him, just messing with me again. I'm like, all right, just anything to get me. I think they know that I'm like nervous and freaked out about being there anyway, so it's like just make it a little bit more.
I don't know if you recognize this or not, but like most people, when they do art for somebody, they don't hang out with the clients. The clients don't bring them out and be like,
right?
"Hey, come be part of this." Like,
right? These guys, it's amazing the how cool they are and how involved they want you to be in it. I mean, it's all mind blowing. I don't really believe that I'm there doing this, but then like this past weekend in Philly, we're hanging out backstage. We brought in with my my brother-in-law and his wife and then 2 kids, and the kids are 13 and 9, and we're just hanging out. And Hetfield comes out. I haven't seen him in a while, but first I'm talking to Robert for a little bit, and then James comes out and we're talking, and he goes and says hi to he's asking where my wife was. He goes over and he's meeting the little kids, and I'm like, this kid has no idea. He's just some tall guy saying hi to him. But it was just like that they take their time out of their way to just come and hang and be normal people. It's pretty wild.
and again, it's one of those do that where we're like, oh, they're so busy. Oh, they don't have time. You know, that they've got more important people to talk to. I do that all the time, and every once in a while, somebody will stop. Like James did that once at the symphony rehearsals, and I was like this. Duh.
Every time, yeah. There must be somebody more important right behind me somewhere.
There's always a level of surrealism, but when did you feel like you had transitioned? Because I don't think people can grasp what it's like to go from, here's some artwork I made for your t-shirts, to like, you are out on tour sometimes.
This is the most we've been on tour. Like we've gone and hit a bunch of shows when they do, if they're coming through. Like we did one group of shows years ago when they hit a bunch of East Coast, and we just went from Jersey to Florida, just hitting a bunch of shows. But for the most part, it's just if I do a poster, we go to the show or something. I'm not usually on tour like this. This is crazy. Mm-hmm. It's all it never. I don't think my brain still has comprehended that I work with them. Like even like in Philly, I had the main artwork for the show, so it's up on their cylinders, the towers above the stage. And I'm like, I can't believe it. I did this drawing. It's like this big, and now it's like in front of thousands of people, and people are like coming up and thanking me for the artwork. I'm like, I'm still just this dirtbag living in a New Jersey somewhere, you know, like banging on bus doors. I'm like, how am I this person that's working for these guys? It's
when you create the art, what is your preferred medium? How do you start? What's the process to start to finish?
I start just sketching. I sketch ideas out, and I hate everything I do until I'm almost done. But it's all sketchy, and then I do it all ink on paper, and then that gets scanned in, and I do the coloring on the computer. But everything, I prefer everything to be hand drawn. I need an original piece of paper with the art on it. I can't do digital art at all. I've tried. I understand that people do it phenomenally, but I don't. And I think I'm too old to figure it out. I don't want to learn it. I'm like, let me just stick with my pencil and paper and ink. And I've been told by multiple younger people that there's way easier ways to do what I do. but I'm like, this is what I do. I ink it, and I put it in the computer. If I do it big, I have to scan it and piece it together to make it right. But
Mhm.
they're like, you could do this on and all these other programs. I'm like, yeah, I can't do that. Just let me do what I do.
I mean, as long as you're not running late, then yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
it's your process, right? Like that's
right,
the whole point of art is
right. The
it's fun.
coloring is my hard part. I'll
Oh,
color a
is it?
poster. Uh, Most of my original paintings are in stain, and it's just browns and sepias with a hint of color. When it's the show posters, I'm like, I start throwing colors together, and like I'll have 30 different options on my computers, and I'm like, I bring my wife, and I'm like, pick your top three, and she picks them, and I'm like, nope, 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 and I do batch other ones, and she's like, just pick a color. The Nashville posters I did in 18, it was 18 or 19. Um, I didn't even know the day of the show. I went to post it up on my Instagram, and I didn't even know what colors they used because I sent them like three. I'm like, just pick whatever ones you guys want and let me know which ones to post. And it was like the day of the show. I'm like, all right, we're going with yellow or gold.
Was the day a show?
Yeah, yeah.
Talk
They had
about
them.
hot presses.
Yeah, right. I mean, they had them all printed and ready. It was just me. I had no idea. So yeah.
The sheer volume that you have to produce while Metallica is on tour, if they're doing a poster per stop, plus all these other things, like you're doing all these event promos, like we have our own artwork for this event, the 104 seasons of Metallica at Manny's at 16th and Valencia in San Francisco on the night in between.
Mhm.
You had to make art for that. It
Yeah.
just nonstop for you right now with
Mhm.
Metallica? Like, if
I
do you have a stack of other people who are like, good luck?
These guys come first no matter what. But I mean, I did on this tour. I did one of the main show posters. They space it out and have like a bunch of other artists do them. I think they just like to keep it random and different. But I want them all. But you know, you can't have them all. But like for this one, it was yeah. It's just you make. I had to make something for myself for my show, so keep it kind of related to them, but me too. So it's just they're scary guy with the tentacles. I like tentacles, and throw the hat on it, and you're good to go. But
Does
yeah, I
the
have a stack.
guy have a name?
The what?
The scary guy, does he have a name?
He's the scary guy. That's his
That's
name.
his name.
Yep.
Scary guy.
Yep. Scary guy.
He doesn't have
But
like a Bob underneath it or anything.
no, I mean maybe, but nobody knows it. The wings I threw on, and then Hetfield named him the Vulturus.
Okay.
So that's his other name. The winged scary guy is Vulturus.
Vulturus.
Yeah,
I like that.
I misspell it every time.
How's it spelled?
I have
Oh,
no
you don't
idea. No,
know. Is it
spelling's not my.
is it a little nerve-wracking creating art for the person who created the original Metallica art?
Yeah, a little bit, a little bit. He's been a good sport about it, though. I've changed it. His scary guy has morphed. I had him as simple as he had it originally, and then I just kept adding to it and more detail. Then the wings, and then I think for 23, I pulled it back and did another one that's like just a yellow scary guy, yellow Vulturus, but he's kind of got the crossed bony arms and the little fingers, and it's kind of I wanted to pull it back a little bit again, more to his style. But
What did your Peachy folder look like in high school?
my what folder?
You know a Peachy folder? Did you do Peachy
Uh
folders in high school? It was like a brand name of folders for high school kids.
oh yeah, my folders were everything was covered in artwork. Everything, and my pants, my friends, I would draw all over people, and everything was covered. I did nothing else in school. I failed most classes except art. I was okay. But yeah, I just my things were Eddie on everything, or the Overkill bat was on multiple things. So those were the two main scary things I was drawing in high school. And literally, I was like my cousin. I did the bat on his arm and freaked his grandmother out, thinking that I had tattooed a 13-year-old. And
You were
yeah,
popular the parents.
Yeah. But I think my dad wanted me to be a teacher, an art. He said, art teacher, whatever, just do something safe. And I was like, nah, I don't want to do something safe. I went to school for it and everything. I'm like, this is stupid. I don't want to do this. I don't like people that much. I don't like kids that much. I don't want to teach anybody anything. But full circle now, I have like a lot of little kids I'm becoming friends with through this, and they're like something around like 11 years old. They're like all not between 9 and 11 are all sending me their cool artwork. They're all Metallica based artwork. So I'm like, all right, you're my new. I'm apparently inspiring
You
a new
did
group of.
become an art teacher,
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
right?
I have one friend in Florida. Our dog sitter in Florida. Her 10-year-old son is like my buddy, and they come over, and whether we're riding the go-kart or he comes in my studio all the time, and we'll paint and draw, and he makes up cartoons of my dog, and then we just kind of do goofy paintings and drawings all the time. It's fun. That's fun. I don't want to be paid to be a teacher though. That's awkward. I don't want that.
Yeah. I mean, you are the kid you were in high school, it sounds like.
Oh,
You're
100%. Yeah.
doing exactly the same thing. It's just that you're doing it for the biggest metal band in the world.
Yeah. Very weird.
Transition, Squindo.
I'm not complaining. Not at all.
How often do you get out to San Francisco?
I don't know how many times we've been out there, but it's been a few times, probably maybe 10 times altogether. But it's usually Metallica related. I think every time has been Metallica related. So yeah.
You're never just coming out to see the Golden Gate Bridge. It's like always.
Yeah, we saw it.
But also, it's a write-off if it's a Metallica related thing. So why not?
True.
Right? Two birds, one stone. We'll get you into the Snoopy Museum this time around.
Yeah, really make it worth it my while. Like, you Metallica, you guys got to wait a minute. I got to go see Snoopy.
Well, the show's not till late, right? So
right.
We'll be getting to San Jose later. We're going to be up in Santa Rosa seeing the Snoopy Museum first.
Right. There was one road trip we drove. I did a show I had a show up north, and we just kind of cruised all through all of California. We were up north, and we kind of headed south, and then the place we were going to stay was, I think, Mammoth Mountain. Is that kind of on the east side of the mountain range? There were fires though, so we couldn't stay there. So we just kept driving and ended up doing a complete loop around that whole mountain range in my old paddle truck. It was a long ride, but
it was not ski season.
No, it was not. This was springtime, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And we got to hang out, and we had friends that had a house in Tahoe, so we got to see that finally and soaked all that craziness in.
People forget California has that whole nature thing going for it.
Yeah.
They think we're just a couple of big cities, and it's like, no. So much.
No, we drove up that time. We drove up to Kings Canyon, and it's like all this giant trees and everything. And I'm not a big fan of heights, but we drove up there, and we get to the little booth at the ranger station. I'm like, is it scarier to keep going or to turn back? And the woman's like, if you were scared at all by that ride, maybe turn around and go back because it gets worse. I'm like, all right, we'll do that. It's too sketchy. I don't trust. There's no guardrails on your roads. You're like sheer drops. The coast road, no guardrails, just sheer drops into the ocean. No.
That is literally my biggest fear, is going over a cliff.
Yeah.
I almost never drive up Highway 1, and I never go. I went to Mendocino twice, and I was done. Like those windy mountain roads.
Yeah.
Nope.
We did one. We were driving from San Francisco to LA, and was it Big Sur? Is that through there?
Oh.
We were just about there, and the road was closed. And we just driven. We had like hours. We were driving. So I'm like, how bad could it be? Can we sneak through that and come back out? And as I'm debating, and my wife's like panicking because she thinks I'm dumb enough to do it. This other car comes through, and this guy comes out. He didn't speak any English. And I'm like, is it clear? And he just kept nodding. And I'm like, maybe not. He must have gotten through, but we went to some little restaurant right there. And the woman working there, she's like, if you do try it and you get caught, the fines are ridiculous. Maybe don't. And she's like, if it's closed because of a rock slide, they close it for a reason. It's not like them just putting up signs. I don't know how that guy got through, but she's like, you don't want to do it. So yeah, we had to circle around the whole thing, and yeah, it's a pretty ride, but I don't like it.
Parts of it just fall into the ocean.
Yeah, how many cars are in the ocean there?
Yeah, I know a lot, but
not that we know of. We did another trip when I was going out west in the panel truck over Hoosier Pass. It's the second highest Rocky Mountain pass in Colorado.
Okay.
And I don't even know what it looked like. I was focused down the road and trying not to crash, and you could smell my brakes going down, and there was a line of cars behind me because I'm just crawling up this mountain. I'm like, I don't want to look over there. It's again a sheer drop with no guardrails. Like, nope.
How often are you traveling the country in a panel truck?
We've done it a few times. I think my wife is over it because it's not a very comfortable ride. It's all right, but most of those trips were her sleeping on a cot that I built behind me. It was all of my artwork piled in the back, and then the truck is 5 feet wide. She's 5 feet tall, so she fits kind of right there. But it's not comfortable. And we had a lot of interesting experiences along. There's something breaking down, and I do the work on it, most of it. So it's like, she doesn't trust me very much, I don't think. So it was a little sketchy. That whole ride over the mountain pass was sketchy. Like, I got out and basically kissed the ground when we got to the other side. You landed in Breckenridge, and there's people in like ski jackets, and I'm just like soaked in sweat, freaked out by the road trip. But
and this is just to do art shows?
This was car shows. I saw a lot of art at car shows. So we started with the panel truck and did from Pennsylvania to Texas.
Because it's a classic truck, right? It's
like a hot rod. It's 65.
Wow.
And it's got looks like a carnival ride. It's all green and metal flake, and
every car enthusiast right now just went, you went across country how many times in a 65 panel truck?
Yeah. I think it's fun more than she does. I bitch about it when we're driving. Like, it's not I have a little bit of arthritis, and it's not the smoothest and easiest car to drive, but it's still so much more fun than a normal car. It's just, the only problem is you can't get gas. Every time you stop for gas, somebody's like, what year is it? Scooby-Doo van? I'm like, it's not a van. It's not the Scooby-Doo van. It's a panel truck, and it's not even, there's nothing Scooby-Doo about it. But yeah.
Are you doing your own merch?
For all those shows, I sell T-shirts, and I have my own books. I did 2 books so far. I'm working on 2 more now.
2 more books?
I did one in 2013, the year of the skull. I did a skull every day for a year. And I did another kid's book, Mostly Dead Monty. He's a zombie. He's the smelly kid in school. And he's picked on, and he's out searching for his weird friends. So it's like a rhymey.
Or a book?
It's like, what's that?
Is it a graphic novel then?
This one is just a kid's book. It's like very rhymey and goofy, and one little paragraph and a picture. I am working on a graphic novel too, which I've worked on for it's 20 years. It's been, because I get on it and off of it. I get sidetracked by everything. But that one is monsters and hot rods completely. And there's a whole lot of Metallica connections in it. I was given permission to use some things. So that one I plan, fingers crossed, I'll have done by Halloween, but at least done. I don't know if it'll be printed yet, but I'll be done by then.
That seems like it's the perfect thing for you.
It's hilarious. It's just,
I'm surprised you don't have like 3 series of graphic novels by now.
If I had nothing else getting in my way, I could get more done, but
so Metallica's on tour.
Yeah, Metallica's on tour. And we had moved from Pennsylvania to Florida, and I bought a fixer-upper, so it was like there's a lot of work on the house. And I had a new puppy, so she kept me busy. She's a goofball. Her photo is the first one in the slides every time because she
Is
gets to
there?
wear Metallica. She wears Metallica shirts and hats and stuff. So yeah, she's
Love
very
that.
popular. People know her more than me, I think. She's very popular.
What else have you been doing in San Francisco area? You've been out here like a dozen times now? Because I think
Yeah,
people want to know like what HQ looks like on the inside, and I know you've been there.
yeah, I've been there a few times. The best part about going there was they take you. I'll go on like a little tour when we go. We'll talk to everybody, and it's not super glamorous. It's because it's all their stuff. They're trying to organize and sell and keep all their merch together. But then you go back in the rehearsal room, and it's just backdrops everywhere of all the people that have given them, all the chapters that donate their huge backdrops with their names on them. And then the last time I was out there, it was all the amps still had my scary guy Vulturus painted on them. So I'm like taking photos of all of those. Like you just can't believe it. Again, I never believe what's going on. But seeing all your art in this building, like even the back door has my little logo on it. Like it's just crazy. It's cool. And it's so like unassuming. It's just a little building with a fence around it. And you're like, that's cool.
But inside, you decorated that place.
You know, I decorate a lot of it, but yeah, it's cool.
That's
Yeah.
right.
It's pretty wild.
You said
Yeah.
you'd seen a show in San Francisco?
Did
Just one?
last
Was it Metallica?
I've seen Metallica there we did the Chase what is it, Stadium? For
Chase Center.
yeah, for S&M 2. The first time I saw the band when I started working for them. I'd seen them several times before, but the first show I saw when I was working for them was the Symphony show in New York. So when they said they were doing the Symphony show again out there, I'm like, we got to go. So that was cool going to that one. And then the other, I mean, I've seen the Fillmore show with them. The only non-Metallica show, but still Metallica-ish, was Baroness, because it was me and my wife and James and his wife went to go see them.
The heavy metal double date.
Yeah, very mind-blowing also. Just sitting up on a balcony with that dude who's like, you know, who he is, and he's like air drumming and air guitaring to the Baroness, and just meeting, like he goes and he meets the guys, and it was just, it's just wild. It's so, yeah, I can't say enough how I don't believe it. It just doesn't seem real at all. But yeah, every time I'm just like, you try to soak it in and be in the moment, but the whole time you're like, this is just cool. How is it happening? Yeah.
It doesn't happen as much as it used to, but you still can go to a metal show in the Bay Area and run into somebody from Metallica.
Mm, yeah.
It
Yeah.
just depends on if they're home or not.
Uh-huh.
But
Yeah.
yeah, as far as I could tell, they all still like to go to metal shows.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. And when he said we'll go to the show, I'm like, I'm not gonna say no. I'm like, yeah, all right. That'll be wild.
What would you say no to?
Nothing.
Hey.
With those guys, nothing. Anything they
Yeah.
want. Like, yep.
We're gonna take you out and cover you in chocolate and roll you in
All
ants
right.
and just leave you there for a minute. We'll take
Cool.
video. It'll be fun. You'd be like,
All right.
okay.
All right.
It's hard. It's hard to say no, right? They would never, but still.
Yeah. If they did, I'd be like, all right, it's for them. It's probably gonna be used for something fun.
Right. Yeah.
Suck it up. You'll be all right.
It's worth it. It's probably for charity, whatever.
Yeah. Probably for charity.